Hey guys, in this video we're going to be checking out the Razor X125 from iFlight RC. And this is a little micro that will take 2.5-inch props. As you can see here, it's got the Gem Fan Flash 2540 props. Pretty good electronics all around here. The bottom plate is 3 millimeters thick, so it's very sturdy. It's 125 millimeters motor to motor, and you can see it's a true X frame. It's about 86.5 millimeters front to back and side to side. And coincidentally, it also weighs about 86.5 grams. Comes with 1106 6000 kV motors. These are the same ones on the Razor X2. It's got the same flight stack as well. It's got the Omnibus F3 with the 10 amp 4-in-1 ESC with BLLES. The difference here is it comes with the all-in-one camera. So this is like the first version of the Razor X2 with the all-in-one camera, not the Microswift. Although this could possibly be mounted with it's got some holes here on the side that you could possibly mount a Microswift in here with some modification. Although the room in here is very tight, you'll have to add a video transmitter, and there's barely enough room in here for a receiver. Now, it did come with an XM Plus receiver out of the box, or actually I was shipped with an XM Plus receiver. It does come with different options. You can get plug and play with no receiver, you can get a DSM-2 receiver, FlySky receiver, or a Futaba receiver, different options. I had a problem, an issue with the XM Plus that came with this. Not sure what was wrong with it. It wouldn't bind to my Tyrannus. So I swapped out that receiver and I put it in a FlySky receiver. This is the receiver antenna you're seeing here. The other problem I had with the flight controller is that the voltage reading would not work. I ended up taking this whole thing apart, and I thought maybe the VBAT was not wired in correctly, but it is wired in. It is wired correctly to the flight controller, and I did test with a multimeter, but no voltage reading shows up in the OSD. So I ended up flashing the flight controller several times with Betaflight to see maybe if that was a problem. I tried wiping the settings. I thought maybe it had some corrupt settings, and that's why the voltage was not reading on the OSD. Don't know what was wrong. I think maybe I had a bad flight controller, or something is just wrong with the flight controller. It flies, but the voltage reading does not work on the OSD no matter what I did. So if any of you guys happen to know what that problem might be, let me know in the comments. I'm curious because I've never seen that one before, and I thought maybe it was just a bad setting or something, and then reflashed it and did all kinds of stuff, but just could not get the voltage to read out here. So you'll see in the flight footage that it's going to be reading at 0 and just flashes, and that's all I could get on the OSD for this one. But the other things in the OSD work, like the flight time and the throttle position and stuff. So yeah, I couldn't figure that one out. So I just think that maybe I have a bad flight controller, or something is wrong with the flight controller on this particular build. So I did fly this on 3S, and you can see here it comes with a JST connector. So I used one of the G&B batteries that come with a JST and an XT30. Kind of wish that they would stop using these JST connectors, because most people will want to fly 3S on something like this size. Although I didn't really have any issues with power. The power was not that much of an issue. I couldn't really tell that it caused any slowdowns or anything, but yeah, it is thicker gauge wire on this JST, but they should be switching these over to XT30 at some point. Hopefully they'll do that soon for future models coming out in 2018. And then I think they're probably going to come out with another version of this, maybe modify the pod a little bit and set it up for a Microswift style camera, the ones with the 19 by 19 millimeter boards. I kind of wish that they would also modify this pod, maybe move the camera up a little bit more so there's less of the props in view. You'll see that in the flight footage. Someone could redesign this pod and have the camera up a little bit higher, and also make it for the Microswift, and have more camera tilt as well. I think that would be pretty good, a mod or pretty good thing to put on Thingiverse for this frame, because it should be pretty simple. Just have these 4 screws right here. There's 2 on this side, 2 on the other side, and they are pretty long. They go up to about right here, about halfway up this thing, and then they could redesign this pod for have the camera up higher and with more camera tilt, so there's less props in the view. I think that would be a good design for the next version of this. I like the frame itself. There's nothing wrong with that. 3 millimeters strong and skinny arms. It had pretty good flight performance and no issues in terms of drag from the arms. So I definitely like the frame. Anyway, I'll go ahead and I'll flash the PIDs on the screen here for Betaflight 323, and I'll go ahead and I'll show you some of the flight footage. So as you can see here, the PIDs that I provided for Betaflight 323, this thing really flies well. It's very smooth, and I think a lot of it has to do with the GemFan 2540 props, which I know are very good, and of course you guys already know that I like those a lot. Very balanced props, they sound great, good power, very efficient, and I think also the motors are pretty good. The 1106 motors have plenty of power, and I'm flying on 3S here, even though the voltage reading, as I mentioned before, it wasn't working. Yeah, definitely you should fly this in 3S, and I'd say I'd recommend switching the JST connector to XT30, although it's probably not 100% necessary. You can see here, I don't have any issues with in terms of getting power for flight. It's not a problem, so not getting brownouts or flips to death or anything like that. So I think it's probably safe to keep the JST if you don't want to switch it out. Pretty sure that iFlight will probably be making a newer version of this. I'll have to ask them about this, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's probably likely if you're interested in a micro swift version of this, they'll probably come up with a newer version of this canopy, and instead of using the all-in-one camera, they'll probably have one designed for the micro swift or some sort of micro CCD type camera with a 19 by 19 millimeter form factor. So if you guys would rather see a micro swift camera in this form factor, they might be coming out one maybe in a month or two. As you can see here, this is sort of a overcast, partly cloudy day. This is the middle of the day actually, even though it's December in California. The lighting isn't that great because the sun's pretty low in the sky. They have a little bit of clouds, so you can see that the all-in-one cameras here just don't handle the light as well as a Microsoft CCD camera. So if you guys are looking for something like that, hang on. I'll probably get one at some point. They'll probably send it to me if they do come out one, but I don't think modding this should be too hard because the holes are there on the side of the canopy. So you just need some sort of like spacer, washer, and some longer M2 screws, and you should be able to get a Microsoft in there and jam a small video transmitter in there somehow. So if you guys want to do your own mods, I'm pretty sure it shouldn't be that difficult to do. Anyway, guys, I think that's a thumbs up for this model. I like it, and I'll put a link in the description if you want to check it out. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.